Right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for this virtual class. We are celebrating the library's 100th anniversary this year. Our newsletter, the Balch column listing programs, classes, tours, and exhibits, is available on our website. Events are also posted on our website and social media. It is my special pleasure to welcome our guest speaker, Stephanie Seal-Walters. We were privileged to have Dr. Walters as a senior library associate whilst working on her PhD at George Mason University. Dr. Walters has taught digital humanities course at both George Mason University and the University of Southern Mississippi, and last offered a class here at Thomas Balch Library in September of 2021. Dr. Walters is currently works in education technology as a Customer Enablement Manager at SchoolStatus. All right, so this program will be recorded and made available on our YouTube channel. We are also broadcasting live on YouTube currently. The viewers will be able to ask questions in the chat to the right of the screen. There is about a 20-second delay between the presenters and the viewers on YouTube. So we will be looking at all questions at the end of the program. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Walters.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing? I'm Dr. Stephanie Walters. My kids call me Dr. Steph, and I'm very excited to be here today to speak to everyone about digital humanities. Yes, like Anna said, I worked at the Balch Library for a long time. It's one of my favorite places in the world. I told someone the other day that working at the Balch Library was probably my favorite job I've ever had. So if you haven't stopped in a while, stop in. I know they have some cool new stuff in there, but I am going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm also going to ask you to bear with me today. We have had some technical difficulties this morning, and also my computer just hates Microsoft Teams, so we're gonna roll through this. It's gonna be great. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Let's see, not now. I want to share. Yep, share that screen. All right, Anna, can you just give me a verbal? You can see my screen, just so I know.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yay! All right, we can see this guy. Hey, that's half the battle. So we're winning already. I'll go ahead and start the presentation. Of course, all of this is in my way. Get out of my way. There we go. Home view. I'm in digital humanities, and I sit here and fumble around. You know what? Let's slideshow. Here we go. It's because I'm used to using Google Slides. I should have done this on a Google slide. All right, everyone. But today I'm going to be talking to you about digital history or digital humanities, which is like the broader version of digital history. And I'm going to take you on a tour of two of my most favorite digital humanities tools. And I love them for reasons I'm going to show you in a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And I promise, if you were in my September 2021 talk, this is going to be a little similar, but there are some updates to Tropia and Omeka that you're going to want to be aware of. So, bear with me, and we're going to show you guys just how easy it is to get started in digital humanities. And so Anna already gave me a very fantastic introduction, but yes, I've been hanging out in Northern Virginia for a while. I've been living in Mississippi for a few years now, but I was in Northern Virginia getting my PhD in U.S. history and digital humanities. I specifically study Virginia Loyalists during the American Revolution. I am not in academia anymore. I moved over to the ed tech field, but I am still an independent scholar of Virginia Loyalists. I've been doing all my research, so hopefully a lot of that is about to come out soon. But let's talk about DH. No one cares about me. We care about DH. So we are going to talk about digital history / humanities. First, the difference, you'll see them used kind of interchangeably. And that's because digital history falls under the larger umbrella of digital humanities. Humanities is going to talk about any humanities discipline such as literature, history, philosophy, religion. And so all digital history or humanities is an academic field concerned with the application of computational tools and methods to traditional humanities disciplines. Now, you'll notice at the top, I scratched out academic field. Why? Because a lot of times when we talk about digital humanities and we throw the word academia or academic field in there, people who are not in academia all of a sudden want to back off, like it's a tool that they are not allowed to touch. That is not true. Digital humanities is very public friendly. If you are a local historian, a genealogist, if you're not teaching at a university, that's fine. Digital humanities and history is just as accessible for you as it is a tenured professor, and it's relatively easy to use. Another thing that I love about digital history and digital humanities is while some DH tools, some of the more expensive ones, yes, they will have a paywall. Some of them do cost money to use, but the vast majority are free and accessible. So we are not going to charge you a massive paywall. So I know a lot of my friends on here use Ancestry.com. Ancestry.com is a phenomenal, you could call it a digital humanities style project, and there is a paywall behind it. However, there are lots of other projects online doing similar things where you can access that information for free. And so I'm going to show you how to use those tools to kind of start your own digital humanities project. And hopefully you'll keep yours free too. So is DH for me? You bet your sweet bippy it is. DH comes in many different shapes, sizes, and products. So if you're not a computer person, don't freak out. When I first started my PhD program at George Mason and decided I was going to dabble in digital humanities, I knew how to check my email. I knew how to scroll Facebook. I knew how to create sort of kind of okay PowerPoint presentations. And I knew how to write a paper on Microsoft Word. And that was it. So don't think that if you have never really played around with your computer too much, that DH is not for you. I promise it is. And that's because there are many different versions and different products that are meant for different levels of user friendliness. So if you're a beginner like I was, and I will even stay still to this day, some of my friends in DH are way above when it comes to understanding coding and crazy things like that. No, I'm a point and click kind of girl, and I'm going to show you how to work that. But also, are you doing personal historical research? Genealogists, oh man, genealogists belong in digital humanities because a lot of the research that's going on for families, a lot of the photographs that come with that, making that a digital project and accessible for others is key. But also, there are many different types of tools to help research, preserve, and share any information that you really want to share. It is kind of, so there's so many different tools that you can use. When someone says digital history or digital humanities, depending on what you were introduced to first, that's where your mind goes. So some people think mapping, some think visualizations, like making those spaghetti maps. Some people think of putting photographs online. There are so many different sources that you can use and work in digital humanities. And we all kind of pick a field that we like the most. So don't think if you're going into DH, you're going to have to learn mapping and visualizations. If you just want to build a website, that's fine. Welcome to the digital humanities. We'll take you. All right. So like I said before, we're going to talk about my two most favorite softwares for research and sharing. And I always pick these two to bring to the Balch Library because of basically the audience. Most folks who come to the Balch Library, they're interested in two things: historical research or some form of genealogy and all the little trimmings that come along with it, whether it's historical architecture, whether it's looking up a specific family. There's many different reasons why you're coming to the Balch Library for resources. And I'm going to show you what to do with those resources once you have gathered them and what you kind of want to do with them. So the first being Tropy. How many of you have a file management system on your computer? And what I mean is basically you got a folder with a bunch of stuff in it on your computer. When you're taking photographs in an archive, that can get messed up real fast. Like if you're taking a bunch at once, I know the Balch has different policies on that. We'll talk about it later. Taking a bunch of photographs, you're throwing it into a folder, you go revisit that like 5 months later, and it's a mess. It's a total mess. You don't know what to make of it. Even if you have your own kind of like photograph system. I used to do picture of the box, picture of the folder, picture of the first thing, so I could kind of go back a few months later and reorganize. I'm going to introduce you to Tropy and make your life so much easier. And this isn't just for archival photos. This is for family photos. This is for modern photos. If you're an artist, this is a phenomenal place to add metadata to your art. I'll show you all the different things that you can kind of upload into Tropy. Difficulty level, That's why Tropy's my favorite. It's easy. If you're like 2018 Stephanie, who only checked her email and social media, you can use Tropy without any issues. Second, Omeka I forgot to mention, both of these products came from the Roy Rosenzweig Center for History and New Media out of George Mason University. So also, there's another reason why I love it, because I know it well, because that's where I graduated. But Omeka is a content management system, which is just a fancy term for a website that basically houses all of the cool information that you've brought together. So it's basically creating a website based around items. So photographs, maps, anything that you can get your hands on that you think would make a beautiful website. Difficulty level, moderate, but don't let that scare you. It's not that difficult. It's one of those things that you got to kind of play around with and clunk around with. And then after a day or two, you really have the hang of it. So don't let that moderate level kind of freak you out. I promise it'll be okay. So why should you learn Tropy? So, and yes, I'm going to go into detail with these. We're going to get out of these slides. So Tropy is great for organizing archival documents and photographs. And you have the ability to add metadata. Metadata is just a fancy term. It literally translates to data about data. So being able to have that photograph and where you can't see it, but you're kind of writing on top of it, all the information that comes with that photograph. Where did it come from? What date was it taken? What archive did it come from? Who's in this picture? Who owns this picture? It's basically putting all that important information in that picture, but all you see is the picture. But you can go grab the metadata later. Transcribe and add comments while saving them to an image. So, if you're putting up a document and it's in cursive and you want to go ahead and start transcribing that image, you can do that in Tropy. No more Microsoft Word where you got a Word document on one side, a picture of a document on the other, and you're kind of going back and forth and zooming in. And then you have to save two separate documents. One's the transcription, one's the original image. No, in Tropy, it all comes together in one. So you're not fumbling around multiple documents, trying to find the transcription, trying to find the original. There's all sorts of cool ways to zoom in and zoom out and transcribe. But then also, why I love Tropy is it's easy to share with family and friends and coworkers who also have a Tropy account. So when you save everything you do in Tropy, you get a .tpy file, and as soon as you save that, you can send it to a grandma, aunt, uncle. As long as they have Tropy on their computer, they can pull it up and see everything that you've been doing. So they can grab those transcriptions. They can look at the dates that you've added. It's beautiful. All right, and Omeka. So once you've gotten all those beautiful photographs and created all of that metadata, and you want to show it online. So that's one thing. Tropy is not, I mean, yes, you can put Tropy stuff online, but it's mostly like a little in-house system on your computer. It's like a much more complex file folder, if you will. But Omeka is how you want to share that information with the world by creating a website. And just like Tropy, it's all about metadata, because Omeka is a special content management system specifically used by historical institutions, museums, because the way it shares your information that you're putting into it, it looks like it's coming out of a museum. It's really beautiful. It's not blog style. It's not WordPress. It's a way to examine historical items or documents or maps or whatever you have, and showing it the way it would look like if you were in an online museum. And it's perfect for everyone who wants to build a family website. Maybe if you have genealogical items. I have a website I'm going to show you in a few that I literally just started working on maybe about a month ago. And you can see how far I've come in just a month as this being like this little side project that's doing a historical interpretation of the town that I live in. But warning, and I know Laura is shaking her head in the back because she's like, you tell them, Stephanie, before publishing items online. So if you want that Omeka website and you're going to put it online, please make sure you have permission from the original source, the library or the archive, before you post those online. I know at least when I was at the Balch Library 4 years ago, you weren't allowed to take photographs of anything. You could make physical copies, scan copies, but you couldn't take photographs, which means they definitely don't want you putting it on a website. That's going to be the same for a lot of archives. However, they will give special permissions. So if you find a photograph of a family member, say at the Library of Virginia, make a request from the Library of Virginia to be able to publish that. They'll ask you questions. A lot of time they'll give you the thumbs up, but you will get into trouble if you post something online and that institution finds out. And you would think, how are they going to find out? Oh, do I have some stories for you? They find out. I don't know how. I don't know if there's like some little bell in the background that alerts archives when their photos go online, but they figure out pretty quickly. And then you get that really uncomfortable cease and desist message in your email. So go ahead, make sure you have stuff to publish online. And also, if it's your information, if that's your photograph, put it online. You own that. That's not an archive. So put it online. All right. So we're going to go into our tutorial, making sure I'm on time. Okay, great. I haven't killed us yet. So I'm going to go in and show you Tropy and show you Omeka. If you think of any questions after this presentation, please feel free to reach out to me. That is my email right there. I'm Stephanie@SchoolStatus.com. Go ahead and write it down. If you think you won't have any questions now, and then at the end of the presentation and you didn't write down my email, the Balch knows how to get in touch with me. They get in touch with me all the time. So just ask the Balch Library and they will send you my way. So now I'm going to exit on out of here. All right, so we'll put that down. And we're going to say, oh, hey, Stephanie, now I can see my face again. So we are going to start with Tropy. All right, guys. So if you want to find Tropy, this is all you got to do. I'm going to show you how easy it is. Now, spell Tropy, Tropy. It's basically trophy without the H. And look, you can even see that they're trying to get you to say Tropy there. Say, no, Google, I want Tropy. And there it is. So all you have to do is go to tropy.org. You're going to click that, and look, automatically it knows I'm on a Mac, so it's going to ask me if I want to download it here. But it will show you all of the different cool things that Tropy can do. Look, you know you're a historian when you see beautiful handwritten documents, and it just makes your heart flutter. Shows you all the way to turn documents basically into important metadata. So look, you can see you can even stack collections on top of each other. So if it's like a 4-page letter, you can, instead of having 4 different images across, you can collapse them and it's beautiful. And then going down here, you can describe your sources doing metadata. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And then look, organize your research. See, it doesn't have to just be, I love doing art. In fact, I have had a professor at George Mason that every time she gave a Tropy tutorial, she would do the tutorial based off of her photographs of her daughter's Lego creations. So even if you're a parent and you're wanting to organize like the things that your child does, Tropy is a great resource for that. It doesn't just have to be historical or archival information. And then here we go. You can annotate your photos, or you can even transcribe them. But it's very easy, guys. So all you have to do is just go to tropy.org. So if you like it after this presentation, you can go play around with it and you can download it for what you need. So, okay, we're going to open up Tropy. We're going to say, Tropy, be nice to me today. So once you have downloaded Tropy, this is what it's going to look like. And look, it already gives you instructions for what you're supposed to do. It says drop your photos into Tropy and let's get started. So I'm going to open my file manager down here. I have Dropbox, and we're going to work with 3 photos that I have today. And guys, I'm just giving you the absolute basics. Tropy can be a very complex program and do lots of really cool things. But, you know, because of the time we have today, we're just going to, and because I don't want to scare you and kind of go over your head, I'm just going to show you a little bit about some of the basics of Tropy. So yes, it can get more complicated. So do you see how easy that was? I just picked up my file management system. I got Dropbox, but if you have, you know, Word folders or Microsoft folders, just grab them. Yep, look, there's my Loyalist research. I should probably be putting that into Tropy. right here. So I've uploaded 3 photos very easily. And you're like, Stephanie, what in the world? Okay, so this is from, Laura's probably laughing in the background. This is from my family's annual king cake party. So in South Mississippi, we're very close to New Orleans. In fact, our school systems get out for Mardi Gras. Our kids just got out for school. And every year since we moved back to Mississippi, we host a king cake tasting party where every family who is invited brings a king cake from a different bakery. We put it all out on the table. We take a taste and we vote on which was the best one. And it is just as horrific for your blood sugar as you could imagine. So I have posted these photos right here because I want to, and you can even see I have some tags created. I want to keep up my king cake party. So these are actually out of order right now. This is 2001, this is 2002, and this is from this year. So I know this right now, but do you think someone in about 60 years who's looking at my photos is going to know the difference between, they could probably tell that's the first year because there's relatively few king cakes. That one has a fewer, but these two are looking kind of similar, especially because of the tablecloth. As a good steward of my family history, I'm going to fill that out right now. So when my great-grandkids come and look at my trophy file, and Lord knows how long, they're going to be able to figure out exactly what was going on in these photographs. Some of you may have been blessed with grandparents, great-grandparents who, when you'd flip over the photograph that they had, it would have all this lovely information, like who was in it and the dates. Oh, I have a few of those, and they're beautiful. And also have a few where there's no information. So I got random people in my photograph collections and I wish I knew who they were. So with Tropy, you're making sure your family forever is going to know who is in these pictures. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to double click. Now look, that was the first. This was also right when we all kind of started getting out from COVID. So we didn't allow many people to come to this party. So we only had a few king cakes. I think some of those were doubled up. One family brought 2 or 3. All right. So right here, I'm going to have notes. So I'm going to say this is from our very first king cake tasting party. And look, here's the coolest part. The winner was a cream cheese king cake from Dong Phuong, which is a Vietnamese bakery out of New Orleans. And I can say this photo was from 2021. And even if I wanted to, I could list in here who brought what king cake, because that's fun information. So you can go into as little or as big detail as you want. What do you think, besides just yourself, people are going to want info out of this folder? Like, for instance, so this is my house, but this is my grandmother's dining set. So I could even tag in here and be like antique furniture, grandma's dining set. There's lots of little information that you can pull from these photos. So you may look at this photo, you know everything in there. Think about when you were doing a description for a photo that you were showing it to a relative from the future who knows nothing. So you can make sure you have all the important information there. So photo from 2021. So this description will forevermore live with this photograph. You can do same things you can do in Microsoft Word. You can bold it, italics, underline. You can even link. If you have a website link, you can link it in here. So if I wanted to link to the Dong Phuong website, I could. You can, like I said before, personal preference. Get as down and like teeny tiny as you want. So I'm going to go to metadata. So you have different types of metadata you can choose from. I am a Dublin core girl, but Tropy generic is just fine. That's just generic, very basic metadata. And like I said, it's just asking you questions about the photograph. I'm going to click Dublin core just because that's what I love. All right, so title, we're going to rename it because that was, it even says screenshot. No one knows what that means. I'm going to say 2021 King Cake Tasting Party. Creator was me. So I'd say Walters, Stephanie Seal. The date, I know this was, I don't know the exact date, but I know it was February 2021. Type. This is a photograph. Look, it even starts autofilling it in there for you. The source, where did this come from? And since this isn't really important for now, rights. Do you have rights for this photograph? Do you care if your family shares this? This is where you're going to put those rights. And I'm going to say free use, which means if someone wants to use this photograph who has access to my trophy, I don't care. If you do have photographs in your trophy that for some reason you don't want your family to use, or if it's like documents, maybe there's something in a family document you're not comfortable with people sharing that you have posted in your trophy. Tell your family right here. That's how they're going to know. Or future researchers. If you're sharing this with future researchers, say this is an archival photo, make sure it says under rights, say UVA do not use without further permission, something like that. So I'm going to go back and just say free use. Yeah, free use. Look, and it remembers everything you type, so you don't have to keep doing it over and over again. Subject, I'm going to say king cake party. Language, there's no language. So if this was a handwritten document, it was in English or in Spanish, that's where you would put that right there. Contributor, that's me again. Walters, look. It's got me in there. Description, you can either copy and paste from what you did right here, or you can do an alternative description. I'm just going to do something awful right there. If this was coming from a book, so if you took a picture from a book, make sure you have the publisher on there. Coverage is going to be the time period. So if you're not sure and you're like, this is from 2020 to 2022. You could say that, but if you're pretty sure the coverage, I'm just going to go say 2021. No, I don't want that. Here, it's going to say the date it was added in here. So today is March 2nd. There she is, modified. And then look. So all of this beautiful information is now in this photo. And then you can go in and do tags. Here's awesome. Add a tag to the item. So I'm going to add a tag. I'm going to say, if I wanted to, I could tag all the different bakeries. So I'll say Paul's Pastry. Paul's Pastry. I could say Lola's Cake. I can say Dong Fong again because that was the winner. Dong Fong. And then I can also say other things. So I can say antique, or I can say Anne Dallenhauer's dining, or antiques. We'll say antiques. Antiques, because that's putting it in the photograph. And I can even put in here just king cake, straight up king cake. King cake. All right, so you can do as many of these tags as your heart desires. And like, I go a little overboard because I feel like there's no such thing as too much information when you're trying to fill out stuff on a photograph. Because if you've ever been in an archive, or if you've ever even been just through a family collection, you wish someone would have put in some of the tiny details. And look, as a person of the future, you have a chance to do that in Tropy. So make it easy for your loved ones, for future researchers. All right, so then I'm going to go through. So right here, that was 2021. Very quickly, look, that's my mom. So I can even tag, poor Carolyn. Add a tag. I'm going to put Carolyn Seal. There she is. And then I can do the winner that year was Garcia's Bakery. And in the description, I can put similar information down here. But what I'm most interested in is the date, because this is going to be from 2022. So that would have been February again, 2022. So just imagine I'm filling this out again. Let me see. I'm going to do another tag. One more. I'm going to say Paul's Pastry, because it was there. All right, and like I said before, you can fill out all of the cool information that you have. You can do the tags. You can do the metadata. I'm going to go back one more time. And this is from 2023. Once again, like I said, those dates are important if you have them. 2023. And there you go. Sugar Love Bakery was the winner. All right. And just pretend you're filling out all of that same information. Nothing too crazy. More tags if you want to. Carolyn's not in there anymore. And look, we upgraded to a Mardi Gras tree. So you can even say, like, look, this was the first year we had the Mardi Gras tree up. Anything you want. It's all going to collect there. So you can see here, I have all of the tags. And look, I should have tagged Ann Dowenhower's Antiques in all three. But I'm going to say, if I see Carolyn Seal as a tag, I'm going to pick that up. I click the tag and it gives me the one photo with her in it. What about if I want to see the table that has all the Paul's pastries in it? Look, you see I messed that up there. I should have done that. We got Paul's. And I'm actually going to grab something real quick while we're here. Nothing like impromptu decisions. So family documents, family archive. So right here, I'm going to add this photo if it's going to let me. Sometimes it gets mad. Is it going to yell at me? Yeah, failed to import. I told you guys, Tropy was being ugly with me today. I don't know why. Normally, you don't get error messages. I think, honestly, I just need to do an update, so I need to go check for updates. But had I added another picture of Carolyn and tagged her in it, when I click Carolyn Seal, they both would show up right here. So if you were tagging a specific person, it doesn't matter if that photo was from 1923 or 1950. If you have tagged the person in it, when you click that person, they're all going to show up at once. So it's a great way for researchers. So if you have, say, I research loyalists, I have that loyalist mentioned in one document, then I have them mentioned in someone's diary, then I have that specific loyalist mentioned in a newspaper article, and I have done that metadata and I have tagged them. When I go over here to tags, I'm going to see the whole loot of every single item that I have tagged with that one person. Now, isn't that beautiful? How many times have you done research and you forgot? You forgot there was that newspaper article with Carolyn tagged in it, and that would have been helpful, and you don't find it 2 years later after you've done your research or publication or whatever your end goal was for doing that research. Oh, it stinks. You don't want to miss that information. This is where you keep the information. So all of these tags are important. All right, so I'm going to go back. Yeah. So you can see here, and then look, you can even do the quick view. You don't have to double click. So if I click here, you automatically get what all of the tags are here. And I can actually go ahead and add one. So I'm actually, look, I messed that one up. Yeah, I'm going to remove that tag because that's an ugly tag. That one wasn't finished. Rename, yep, delete tag. Yeah, that's a bad one. All right, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to tag Paul's. There we go. Not messing up anymore. So now when I click Paul's Pastry, I can see the two tables that included Paul's Pastry cakes. So that's kind of how that works, guys. So see, that's Tropy, friends. I mean, that is not bad at all. And that's just the basics. Tropy can do even more. So for instance, I'm going to go ahead and double click on this one right here. If this was a newspaper or a document, this is where you could put that transcription. So you would put "Dearest Sir," with the date and everything. So you can transcribe that for whoever is looking at it. And then you can zoom in, zoom out. You can roll. Yeah, see, you've got your little scroller right here. You can get in there really close. You can look around and not lose your spot. So no more having that Word document or that photograph of that newspaper and having to go back and forth. You have it all right here, and you can get in as close as you want, as far out as you want. It really is beautiful. So I miss those cupcakes. All right. So guys, that's Tropy. See, it's quick. It's easy, very simple to use, and it's important. I can't stress the importance of this. If you are doing some kind of research, whether it's personal historical research, whether it's for the town, whether it's for families, this isn't just great for your own research. This is basically creating your own family archive or your own archive on this particular topic. And like I said before, don't forget, you can share these accounts. So when next time you go into an archive, you open up a folder and you wish something was there, some information about a photograph, if you wish something was transcribed, think about Tropy. And then think about how you don't want to do that for the person coming after you. You want to help that person. So get those images, put it in, and you're good to go. All right, so I'm going to bring this down. All right, now I'm going to switch. Here we go. All right, guys. Ding, ding, ding. This is Omeka. All right, Omeka is beautiful. So remember, like I said before, Tropy is easy because you are able to put in those photos and get all that good, juicy metadata out of everything you can. And this is how we are going to show that information to people online. So if you've been doing a really cool project in Tropy and now you want to share it with the world, you've got Omeka. Now this, what I'm showing you today, there are two Omekas. There's Omeka Classic and Omeka S. This is Omeka Classic. I believe that Omeka Classic is a lot more user-friendly to people who are not professionals in the field. S has a little bit more of a learning curve. I struggle through S, but I do believe Classic is the one that's the most user-friendly for people who are just entering the field. See, look, it's telling me I even need to upgrade mine. But it comes with a bunch of different things. So this is, like I said before, a content management system. So if you've ever worked in WordPress before or Drupal or anything like that, this may look a little familiar to you. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of Omeka Classic, I am going to go over here. This is the website. So guys, I just started this, so don't judge it too hard. I live in a very small town called Poplarville, Mississippi. We're about 45 minutes from the Gulf Coast, and we're a relatively new town. Poplarville was not founded until 1884, which I know most of my friends in the viewer group, you're from Virginia, most likely, and you're going, haha, wow, no, that really is new. It is. But believe it or not, because we are such a new town, there really isn't that appreciation for the town's history. So like buildings are getting knocked down because they're not considered old enough to kind of survive, but the town's young. So it really is kind of a mess. So there is this kind of push in Poplarville to try to capture what history we do have and to put it online so people can see kind of the importance of it. So I've been kind of working on this. And I am incredibly fortunate because my family owns a ton of photographs. When I first moved into this house, you can ask Laura. I can't tell you within the first 2 months of moving here how many times I would send her pictures asking questions. How do I preserve this? Is this person dead in the photo? All sorts of fun questions like that. But this is an Omeka website. And Omeka, like I said before when we were in the slides, is very much based on looking like an online museum. So if you go to a WordPress site, it's going to look like a blog or it's going to look like a news article reel. This is meant to be like an online museum. So you've got 3 different things. You've got items, which is very basic. So this is an item. A photograph is an item. So you can scroll through items. You can browse collections. So almost like you were going into a library and like the Balch and you were asking to look at the Lewis Edwards collections and you want to look through those different file folders and all the little thing in it. That's what your collections are here, except you're not touching them. You're just looking at them online. Or browse an exhibit. So the difference between a collection and an exhibit is a collection is like viewing all those file folders. An exhibit is like basically making a beautiful online poster board with like a narrative and the photos included. And you're basically walking people through that history. You're adding that narrative to what's going on in those photos. Whereas a collection is just the items that have been put in some kind of specific order. So that's the difference. And I'll even show you right now. So here's collections. Right now, since this is new, I only have 2 and they're kind of sad. I'm going to look at the Davis family collection. This is the one specific. That's my grandma. Isn't she beautiful? She was a beautiful lady. She was the Camellia Queen. But there's the Davis family collection. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And right off the bat, before you even start seeing the items within this collection, you get the metadata. So who all is in this? So this is the Davis family collection. It almost looks like when you go into the archive and you get to see that front sheet on top of the archival box, and it gives you all the information on what's about to happen in this collection. The subject, this is the Davis, Elliott, and Dowenhauer family collection. And this tells you in the description, yeah, I need to beef this one up, but this is kind of a placeholder. The collection includes images from the Davis family from Poplarville, Mississippi. It tells you who specifically is in here. And then also a little bit of the history of the people who are involved. So here's Dr. James Davis. He was actually from Calhoun County, and he moved to Poplarville to start his medical practice. And he even tells you that his wife, she wasn't also from Poplarville. She was from ML, Alabama. And they moved here. And this is when these photos start happening. And I even tell you here that these photos are from a family archive, and I'm the one who digitized it. And then this is my relationship to these photos. So not only am I a digitizer, I'm also a family member. So that's a good thing to put in here. So if people want to contact you further, if they know I'm just the person who digitized it, they may assume I don't know much about the collection other than I was just processing the photos. But by adding that I'm the great-granddaughter and the owner of this collection, if someone has questions, they're going to come to me. So that's a good indicator. The creator, the Davis family created those photos. I did not create those photos. I created the photographic evidence. I created the copies to go online. But the Davis family, they're the ones who actually snapped these photographs. Here's the publisher. Ooh, here we go. The date range. These go from about 1935, so when everyone moved to Poplarville, to about 1980. And that's a lie right now. I do not have anything 1980 right now. It's a placeholder. And once again, I'm the contributor, and here are the rights. Aha! The important line. This is online, and these are my photographs, so I can publish them online if I want. But I'm telling folks real quick, all rights belong to me. And these photographs better not be used, or I'm going to send you that cease and desist letter if I find it published in your book. And then the coverage, early Poplarville. So the first few decades of Poplarville's existence. Excuse me, guys, I got a stuffy nose. And here in the collection, here are the items that have been put in so far. So there was a Camellia Queen pageant, and there's a Camellia Queen with her court. There she is by herself. This is Dr. James Davis, and there's the little Camellia Queen, and then that's her brother. And this is important because you see this building in the back. This is being threatened to be knocked down right now. So I can actually go in, now that I know that this is an endangered building, I can go in and add that and talk about how that's the post office that was built in about 1920. I can go in there and say that this is an endangered building. This is, look at this. I said this is siblings in front of their home, and I've given it a great description. That's Alice Ann Davis, and she marries to be Dowenhauer, so I added that in there, and her brother, and they're in front of their childhood home. And look, I have the address. I know where that is, 408 South Pine Street. So that's adding any more information. So think if someone is coming in one day wanting to do a historical mapping project. Oh man, I just told them the address right here. How many times have you put down the address if you knew it when you were putting a photograph into a collection? Very rarely. Put that address in there. And then when this is cool because this is when the war monuments are going on. That's my great-grandfather in surgery. And then that's at his funeral because he died early on. So, and I have information about how he was waked. He was waked in the home, information on where he's buried in the Poplarville Cemetery. It's all about that data, guys. Oh man, it's so good. So this is a collection. Now, exhibits, I'm sorry, I don't have a phenomenal example of that. I apologize, guys, because I haven't started. But like I said before, the difference between an exhibit and a collection is an exhibit is going to be a storytelling page. So I'm going to write the narrative in there. I'm going to have different photographs in there. See, and you can tell there's nothing pretty in here, but you can, once it is pretty, I'll have like say a photograph right here with a description, kind of the introduction, introducing you to the Poplarville Hospital. Because once again, the Poplarville Hospital is endangered and they're threatening to knock it down. So that's what better way to go in and do an exhibit to try to save this place than doing it online and showing it to everyone so they can share. So I'd have a photo of the Poplarville Hospital, what it was, why it should be saved, all this different cool information. So that's going to be an exhibit. And then browse items. That's just all of the items that are on this website, period. You can browse by a tag. So just like in Tropy, if I want to see all of the images of Alice Ann Davis Dowenhauer, there she is. Doesn't matter what collection she was in. I just pulled all of her photos out, so I have them all in one. So can you imagine if you created this and a researcher comes along looking up Alice Ann Davis and they want to do some kind of a story on her? Oh man, how easy is that? You browse by the tag and you literally get everything from the website right there. So you're looking at this and you're probably going, Stephanie, this sounds great, but how awful is this to create? It's not. It's not awful at all. It's actually really easy. The very first thing you need to do, and I've done it in the past, is you have to find a hosting. I use Reclaim Hosting, and I highly suggest Reclaim Hosting for anyone who is looking to own a website. Let's see, I'll go ahead and log in there. In this client area, look, it's going to have all the information on there, all of my accounts. And this is basically where I buy my website. So I bought historicpoplarville.com. And when I buy that website, I can upload Omeka. And then this is how I'm going to control that entire website. And if you want the steps for how to do that, please contact the Balch Library and I can get that information to you. It's a very simple system, but I'm not going to tell you how to upload a website, but I will tell you how to work Omeka right now. So just for the sake of time. So here's Historic Poplarville. It's already telling me where it is. I have plugins. So I can choose different things like exhibit builder, simple pages. So if I just want to have an about page, that's what a simple page would be. So, nothing crazy, just saying this is about the town of Poplarville, any fun information you have. Users. If you don't want to do this all on your lonesome, if you want to add friends or family or additional researchers to this project, this is where you would add them at the very top. So you just hit add user, give them a username, give them a display name, put their email in here, and they will create their password once they get that invitation from you. So, that's the beauty. I didn't mention that of digital humanities is it's very shareable and it very much is a group project. Yes, you can do these kinds of things on your own, but when you find someone who is like-minded and interested in a similar project to you, it's always fun to have a friend do this with you. Also, it's a lot less pressure on you. So if you want to build this website, add them in here. Travis Shaw, I'm going to put you in here. Let you do the Poplarville website. So add them in here, and then you can even give them a user role. So super is exactly what it sounds like. You have all power on this Omeka site. But if you only want them to contribute something and you don't want them having the big access to everything on the website, such as deleting or editing things that they didn't upload, can make them a contributor. So don't worry, even if if your niece or nephew is interested in family history and wants to help you with the website, but you aren't sure what they're going to do yet, just make them a contributor. All right. And then here we go. Appearances. This is everyone's favorite. So if you have used WordPress before in the past, there's all sorts of different themes that you can choose from. And Omeka Classic is no different. So it comes preloaded with a couple of themes. Histories of the National Mall is by far my favorite. Thanks, Roy. You've got Seasons and Berlin, and you can actually use this theme. I'm going to stay on mine just because I don't want to lose it. But you can configure once you have decided this is the one you want. You can configure that theme, and that's where you can go in and do all those fun little details. So you can choose a logo file. I haven't done a logo, but when I want one, instead of it saying Historic Poplarville right here, it'll have a beautiful logo that you can click on. You can decide the navigation. Do you want it to be a drop-down menu, or do you want a full column? Logos, more logos, banners. If you don't want a logo and you want a big banner at the top instead, you can do that. So like I said, no coding, guys. If you're not a coder and you don't want to handle HTML and CSS, Omeka Classic is great for that, because you can go in and point and click and customize. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, there are places where you can go in and code and do those super, fine tuning of what you want on your website. But if you're like me and you started out and you're like, oh, Stephanie, I just want to choose my color. Good news. You can do that all right here. Look, your footer text. So when I go back to the website, here's my footer text. So it's going to be on the bottom of every page. Let me go back to the front so you can kind of see if I get on anything else. All right, appearance. Homepage text. So when you go to the homepage, right here, it gives you your welcome. So guys, go grab it and kind of fumble around with it. There's so many different cool little options. I mean, you can really go in and change anything, and it's nice, and it's very, as you can see, that wasn't too scary. And here's the deal: if you click a button and you click save and you go to your website and you don't like it, You didn't break it. Just go back and unclick that button, save it again. You are going to make choices you don't like, or maybe it was an accident. You can go back and fix anything. So don't feel weird fumbling around and checking boxes. It's okay to try to break it. Settings, and this is where it gets a little bit more fine tuning, like what size you want the photographs to show up as. Do you want thumbnails or do you want the full file? So see, you get all these really cool. So you can customize it as much or as little as you want. Look, even the navigation, I can choose what comes first. So right here it says items, collections, exhibits. If I want exhibits to come first, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to click save. Let's see if my cache will allow it to. Yeah, and there it goes. Switches. Easy peasy. So, and I'm actually going to fix that because I don't like it now. It's making me nervous. Put that back there. Collections, save. So, once you've gotten your website kind of looking the way you want, whether you've chosen navigation, and look, you can even add labels. So if you want to link to another website and have it in the nav, that's fine. So say if you want to link to an archives website, because that's where a lot of those photos came from, put that label in there, put that URL, and you've got it on that navigation. So this is where all the fun history lives, right here. So dashboard is basically just like your homepage. It gives you some of your quick statistics. So right now, I only have 9 items. And then I've got only 2 collections. I've created 19 tags. I only have 1 user. It's just me and all my lonesome. And then I have a very sad exhibit that I haven't done anything with. And you can even see recent items. So if you are collaborating with another person, you can come here and see what was most recently added. So what they've been adding, and also the same for collections. So the first place we start in Omeka is collections. Which is funny. You would think they would do that one first in the order, but it's not for some reason. But I promise you, you want to go to collections first. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to say add a collection. And this title, I am going to say family from Alabama. Family from Alabama. The subject is family photographs. So look, this is just like when we were in Tropy. It's the exact same metadata as in Tropy. So if you've already done this once, you can do it again. Description, this is the Elliott side of the Davis family. Creator, Elliott family. Remember, you are not the creator unless you're the one who took that photograph. Creator is going to be the artist, the person who wrote the letter, the newspaper editor, or the person who contributed to it. That's who creator is. It's not you. Sometimes it's you. If you took that photo, it's you. But right now, it's not. Source, where did it come from? Fill in the publisher. If it's from a newspaper. Date, I'm going to say 1910 to about 1910 to 1950. Oh. That's not good. We're not there yet. Contributor, this is you. So Seal, Stephanie. Look at me. I don't even know my last name anymore, guys. Walters, Stephanie, Seal. Rights. This is where I'm going to put that info on whether or not I want people to use anything in this collection. Language, if there's documents in here, which there is. I'm going to say English. And coverage. So I can say covers World War I. I'm going to add that, add input, and then I can add another one, World War II. And look, now I have all these different coverage pieces. So World War I, World War II, I can put Great Depression in there. Very nice. So once you've filled all that out, you can add a collection. Now here's 2 important buttons here. So when you are ready for this collection to go online, click public, because that means it's as soon as I hit add collection, it's going to add it. It's going to add it to my Omeka, but you will not see it on this website. Look, featured collection. Right now it's Poplarville Veterans. It will not go on the website until you have hit public. So if you're working on a project and you're not ready for it to be seen yet, that's okay. Omeka will save everything until you're ready to go live. Featured means if I click this featured button, all of a sudden Poplarville Veterans is going to be replaced with the first image item I have put in the collection for the Elliott family, which I was doing a new collection for the Elliott family. So as soon as I put in an image that is going to be in the Elliott family collection, it's going to replace these lovely gentlemen on a boat here. So that's what these two buttons mean. Don't forget, because many times I've taught Omeka in class and I'll get a 2 a.m. phone call from a freaked out freshman who's like, I just saved my collection. It's not coming online. What did I do? Did you click the public button? There we go. So just click that public button. Now that I'm going to add that collection. Not going public yet because I don't want anybody to see that. Yep. And it'll even tell you right here, private. And for Poplarville Veterans, there's the star. So you know this one is the featured one because it has the nice little star right there. And it'll even tell you right here how many items are in each collection. David's family has 8. Poplarville has 1. The one I just created has 0. So I'm going to go into items. Now that I have this collection, I'm going to add an item that I know needs to go in here. So I'm going to give it a name. And actually, let me pop it up real quick. We'll go to Family Documents, Family Archive, and we'll do the very first one. Yeah, so that's the Homestead in ML, Alabama. Let's see. Homestead in ML, Alabama. And then pretend I'm going to fill all this out. You guys have seen me fill out metadata for an hour. So we're gonna just scroll through here and pretend like Stephanie did a good job filling all this out. All right, and so after I've done, now notice collections did not have these little tabs at the top. Item does. So a Dublin core, I filled that out, and I'm going to go to item type metadata. Don't let this mumble jumble of words freak you out. It's easy because all you are selecting is what in the world this is. So this is a still image. So this is cool because, guys, what if it was a sculpture or like an oral history? This is going to make sure that people know when they're searching what they're looking for. So this is a still image. All right. And if I have this information, I can fill this out. If not, Omeka just will not include these forms of metadata in the online process. So original format, if I know it's a photograph, I can say that. But if it's like a Daguerreotype type or a tin type or something cool like that, put that information in there. Physical dimensions, if I know what the size is, put it in. If not, no harm, no foul. No one's gonna hate you for it. Files, this is where it comes in. Okay, so I'm gonna choose the file. It's gonna pop up my Dropbox. I am going to go to Family Documents. That's what happens when you have 2 folders that say family in it. You get confused. All right, Family Archive. I'm going to do the homestead picture. But look, guess what? That picture is actually 2 photographs because I'm going to choose a second file. Look right here. There was writing on the back of this photograph. And I want to make sure that these 2 photographs stay together because even though this is a photo, there must have been some important writing on the back, which is why I took a picture of it. So I'm going to keep these together as one so they're happy. Tags. I can tag Alabama. Add that tag. Any info I want. There's chickens in that photo. We'll do chickens. Why not? And then here we go. Oh, and right here, y'all, I almost did it. I almost made a freshman mistake. Collections. And you choose what collection it's going to go to. And I'm going to say family from Alabama. I'm going to add that item. Oh, here's the deal. Always make sure that you click public if you are willing for it to go online now. So I'm not going to click public because this has nothing to do with Poplarville, Mississippi. It's just a tutorial, but I'm going to click add item. And it's mad at me. So we're going to pretend it wasn't mad at me. Oh, it's because I didn't have a good file upload on there. So ignore that. Pretend that was just a JPEG and it went through. And when I go to collections, it would say 1 right here, and it would include that family from Alabama. So that is a collection and is really easy. Here on the side is where you can kind of keep up with your tags. Look at all the, oh, that's cool. It'll even tell, yeah. So Alice Ann, she pops up the most. It'll tell you she's got 5 of them. James B. Davis has 4. So it'll tell you all the tags. So you can search your tags and see from here kind of what you were doing in Tropy. You can keep up with it here and take a look. You can also add some more tags so it's available when you're tagging photos. Like, we got all sorts of good stuff in here. So tags is easy. This is just kind of like a internal Tropy that's keeping up with your information. You can tell it was created by the same group of people. All right, and exhibits. Exhibits is fun because there's so many different things that you can do with it. And this is going to be kind of the last part. We'll move to questions if anyone has any. So the Poplarville Hospital, you guys saw my really sad exhibit. You saw, but I can show you the guts of what it looks like. So I'm going to click edit. Great. See, guys, this is what I love about Tropy is it really is, look, it's a walkthrough. It asks you the questions. It asks you to upload the file. And then when you're done, you have a beautiful website. So it really is just a step-by-step process. You just answer the questions and it will populate it for you. So what is the title of my little museum exhibit that I'm going to create? The slug, what is a slug? So if you go here, so I'm going to click on Poplarville Veterans. There you go. Did I click collection? I did, like a ding dong. Y'all can tell that I haven't had my coffee. This is the slug. So Poplarville Hospital. So it's going to say it's an exhibits and show, but Pop Hospital, that's the slug right there. So you don't have to fill that out. It will auto-populate one for you. But if you want to get a little crazy and you're little, you know, too into it like me, you can make that right there. Credits, go to me. I'm the person who is making this beautiful exhibit. You can add multiple people if you would like to. The description of the exhibit, what is it? So when, yep, here's going to be the description right here. I'm so sorry, it's ugly. So what happens when you build a new website? It's going to look ugly at the beginning. You can tag it. So let's see, Poplarville, tag it. Oh, it's mad at me. Oh, that's what it is. It's mad that I haven't configured the theme, but it's okay. All right, so, yep, current public theme. Use summary page. So start the exhibit on the summary page. I always have go ahead and click yes. And then this is going to be my cover image. So I get to choose cover image. And all that means is just when you go back to poplarville.com, when it lists all of my exhibits, that is going to be the photo that represents the entire exhibit. So, and it has to already be uploaded as an item. So you can't just upload it right here. If it asks you to change it, you have to go in and you have to add it as an item, and then you can put it in right there. So pages, if you want to add pages to this exhibit, I just clicked add page. And I can have right here, so what was this again? Yeah, is the Poplarville Hospital. And the Poplarville Hospital was originally the old courthouse. And the menu link title, if I want that to be shorter, so when you look at a menu, it would be like, say, courthouse or something like that. I can do a page slug if I want. I'm not too interested. And this is how you're going to set that page up. This is going to look a little bit more like if you worked in WordPress with blogs. I can do a file with text. So file with text. And I'm going to add that new content block. And I can put in an item here. So let's see. I don't have one of the hospital uploaded yet. I'll just do surgery. Why not? Sounds good. So I'll have it right here, and I can type text and be like, the Poplarville Hospital originated, let's see, the Poplarville Hospital started as the original county courthouse built in 1891. All right, and then you can do this whole beautiful essay. So if you have it in Microsoft Word, you can copy and paste it. So if you've actually written out all that text, copy and paste it, put it in here. You can do all of the same kind of formatting, just like you would do in Word. You can link. So if you're talking about the Poplarville Hospital and there is like a modern link, you can link that in there. And then you have layout options. that you can decide, do you want that picture to be left justified? Do you want it to be a full picture? You just want to do a thumbnail? Ooh, and this is the one I love, is the captions for the photo. Do you want that to be center or left justified? And I can even go in here and edit this photo, and I can put a caption in here. So, surgery. Let's hope I have something a lot more poetic to say when I actually go in here and do that. And then I'm going to save changes. I'm sure it's going to throw another error at me because it's mad I didn't update it. Oh no, look, there we go. All right. And then I am actually going, you can add another page. Let me go back to the Poplarville Hospital. Yeah, leave. It'll tell you that sometimes. And then look, here's my first page as the old courthouse. And I can have as many pages in this exhibit as I want. And it's beautiful that way. So guys, don't let digital history or digital humanities make you nervous. This is very easy. I know this was a lot to look at all at once, but the beauty of both Tropy and Omeka is that you cannot break them. Have fun. Upload stuff, add your metadata, see how things are organized. Go in and have a great time with Omeka. Like I said before, you can't break this. So if you accidentally click a button that you're not sure of, go check the website after you do it and see what it did. Have fun kind of playing around. This, as you can see right here, I haven't played with it a lot, but this still, the fact that this probably took me a couple of hours in my off time when I was just after my kid went to sleep, and the fact that I did this in a few hours, I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, about 30 years ago, this would have taken a lot more effort and a lot more coding, and this is just point and click. So if you don't know a coding language, if you want to share what information you have with the world, go play with Omeka. And like I said before, Omeka Classic is the way to go. So let me look real quick. Omeka Classic. And you can go right here. And also the beautiful part of Omeka, it comes with a user manual and it comes with forums. People ask questions all the time. So if you are struggling somewhere to either add a file, or if something's going up and you're just, you have questions about the metadata, I promise someone else has asked that question. So you can go into forums. And not only that, the people who work for Omeka are incredibly responsive. They will, if you ask a question in the forums, they will get back to you so fast. So don't forget, go check it out. Go look around. Look, you can even see if you didn't like the themes that I showed you before that come preloaded, you can download new themes. They're always creating new ones that you can kind of play around. I've actually used minimalist a lot. It turns out really pretty when you configure it. So go have fun and play. And it's been an hour. So does anybody have any questions about Omeka, about Tropy, about DH in general? Anna, do you have a list, or have we've been pretty quiet?
We do have one question. I will remind everyone that we have about a 45-second delay. So if we are a little slow on answering your questions, that's why. So I just ask you all, if you do have questions, go ahead and enter them into the chat. Stephanie, we do have one question. JF Purcell asked, will Dr. Walters be doing workshops at Balch?
I would love to do workshops at Balch. Do you mean in-person workshops?
He just said workshops.
Yeah,
so.
I would always be open to that. I keep threatening my husband that we haven't been to Northern Virginia in a while, but I'm always available to do workshops for the Balch, whether it's in person or more online ones. So if you guys are even interested in doing like a starting of Omeka, so kind of like a digital history 101 where we get our freshmen in there and we actually build the website. So like I showed you before in the client area and reclaim, I can actually show you how to start that website. So if you're interested in something like that, let Alexandra or Anna or Laura know, and they know how to get in touch with me.
Yes, and on that note, if you all are not willing to wait 45 seconds delay, Stephanie did share her email address, but you're also welcome to email balchlib@leesburgva.gov. Our email address, any of your questions, and we'll send them over to Stephanie.
Definitely. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions. Yes, I do have a background in academia. I wouldn't know all this stuff if I didn't. But I am, right as of right now, and will probably be for the rest of my life, I am an independent historian. And I have worked at the Balch. I worked at the Balch Library for a long time. I've worked at the community for the long time. And I truly believe that the best work in history is done by normal individuals. You do not have to have a master's or a PhD in history to do good work. So if you are interested in this and you know you have a good topic and you want the world to see it, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help get you started, because I promise, especially if you're listening in from Northern Virginia, there's a lot of topics. There's a lot of topics to go through, and I'm more than happy to help get you started.
All right, Stephanie, I'm not seeing any other questions. So again, I just welcome everyone to send us, either Stephanie or myself or Thomas Balch Library, an email if you have any further questions. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much, Stephanie. That was awesome.
No problem. And like I said again, just feel free to message me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Stop sharing. Yeah, please feel free to message me at any point, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.